right, welcome to episode 13 of Keeping It Real with Jairo De Leon and Chris Williams. Man, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, definitely. So, Jairo.
Yeah.
Important topic today.
Okay.
A topic that everyone could relate to.
Okay.
So, we go through our day-to-day. We go through our day-to-day lives. And a lot of times when we wake up, there's this different feeling that we have, right? And when I say feeling, I mean we go through different stages during the day. So we wake up in the morning, we may be with our children, we may see our wife or significant other leave. We're with our family is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Let's say it's Tuesday, we head to work.
Right.
We have our coworkers, potentially our boss, potentially in our profession, students that we see.
Right.
We have to put on so many different masks every single day. Okay, every single day. That sometimes it could be tiring. Sometimes it could be what we don't feel like doing. But tell me, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with being a professional, being a family man, being a father, a brother, potentially an uncle?
Okay.
All of these different roles. And are you the same person in every encounter? Or are you a different person?
I think the answer is no. I'm not the same person. And the reason why is because I find it that when I interact with certain people, there's certain expectation that's kind of required. You know, when I talk to my kids, I'm dad. You know, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a professor. I'm just dad. You know, when I'm with my nephews, I'm their uncle. So I got to have that uncle face, you know, that, you know.
But what's different? What's different from being dad to uncle?
What
is that a different mask?
It's a different mask for that moment. I don't know if I'm making myself clear with that. But it's like I have rules for my kids. But I can't have the same rules for my nephews because they have their own mom and dad. Mm-hmm. But I have to be that uncle, and that uncle has certain ways of dealing with things, like my uncles had. You know, my uncles never disciplined me, you know, but it was always, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do that. You know better. But I think what it is, too, is it can get exhausting, you know. It can get exhausting when you deal with so much every day in and day out. I would even toss it to where, you know you and I were having a conversation earlier this week, where we have to wear the mask. Forget about putting one on. Mm-hmm. It's like you have to wear a mask. You know, someone breaks in the house or you hear something, you got to put your superhero mask if you want to look at that. Because there's always negative, right? Mask, all negative. But what about the positive mask? Because I'll tell you right now, Chris, there's been stuff that I hear at night. I ain't trying to go outside. I ain't trying to be a superhero, but my kids are looking at me. My wife is looking at me.
Huge role.
What are we doing?
That we as men have to do. Everybody's looking at you.
Yes.
Father.
Yes.
The dad. What are you going to do?
And I have to put the mask on, man. I have, even though inside I'm screaming probably louder than my wife and louder than my kids. But I got to be tough because that's what they're looking upon me to. What's going to happen? Well, can you go and protect us? So I think wearing a mask in today's time, even it's difficult because we ask our students, our young male students, hey, you know, you got to come to class. Well, what if there would be a mask to be a student?
There is.
Right?
There's definitely a mask to be a student. Me being a student, there was this, I mean, you know, and especially when I was going through what I was going through, it's like you put on this mask. And my mask was, let's say I was working at Best Buy, $6.75 an hour. You know, barely making gas. Barely making gas. I
remember those days.
My mask was multicolored. It was sad, pissed off. Depression. A lot of times, and this was before depression and mental health was a popular thing. So I didn't even know what it was. I just know I was feeling some type of way.
So but we ignored it?
Oh yeah, we definitely. I don't think I personally ignored it. I think I just did not know that it was a thing. So I was just blind to the fact that, wow, why when I'm waking up every day, I'm still tired after a full night's sleep?
Okay.
Why am I not sleeping And then when I do sleep, I'm having these things on my mind. We can all relate to those just like bad times where you have things in your mind. There was, a lot of time, and this was even after I had a degree for a little while.
Right.
There was just things that were on my mind as a young father. Yeah. And then you imagine taking that mask off, and that mask is sort of glued to your face, and then putting a new one to go to work, where you have to smile and everything that's going on. You're still, hey, how's it going today? How's it? No.
But do you think we eventually master that though?
In this strange thing called life, I think you have to, or you have to be able to identify that this mask that you have on is going through some things. And hey, this is a lot of things. We talked about this earlier today at our meeting, where we as men of color have a hard time asking for help.
Yes.
Or admitting it could be a pride thing, like, oh, help. We we don't go out and get help. What is that? What is that
help
about?
is weak.
Help is weak.
We equate that.
That is not the
we equate that really easily.
Right.
But because if I take it back as a kid growing up, anytime we asked for help, it was never like, good job for asking help. It was like, seriously? Are you asking for help? Like, let me tell you, back in my day, it was
back
always
in
that.
My day,
it was that concept as opposed to, good job for asking for help.
Right.
Asking for help is the wisest thing you can do. We learned that until we're in our 50s and 60 years old. Like, man, I should have gone to ask somebody. Exactly. Early 20s? Even to ask for directions. I still remember when I was dating. Hey, you know where you're going? Yeah, I know where I'm going. I'm good. Mask. Don't tell me that I'm on the wrong path. I'm going in the right way. But then, we get a little bit smarter through time and go, oh, you know what? I need gas. I'm going to put some gas on. I would go in the gas station, ask the dude, yo, man, where's the 91?
Hyro's aging himself right now. This is way more time.
But I would have to say, let me go into it. But then I would come out.
Yeah.
Here it is. Gas station, take the mask off, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Can you please help me? I'm trying to find out. Coming out of the gas station.
Putting it back on.
You know where? Girl, I got you. Don't worry about it.
But think about it. Us as men.
Yeah.
There is a lot of added pressure when a family fails. If in-laws or a sister-in-law is looking at why that family failed, who do you think they're going to point at? They're not going to say their sister.
They're not.
They're not going to say their sister. What are they going to say? Well, what is Hyro doing?
Yeah.
What is Chris doing?
Yeah.
He's not looking for another job.
What did they do wrong?
What did they do wrong? How is he going to as a family? I'm talking about as a family unit. What's your husband doing?
And that's the thing. That's one of the hardest things about talking about mask is understanding when is it okay to be vulnerable? When is it okay to just take off that mask? And what I learned, Chris, is take it off, number one, to my wife. That's my partner in crime.
Exactly.
And once again, not to exclude those who are not married, okay?
Right.
But in my case, because I am married, well, even let's go back. Even before I got married, this is where I tell people, who is your support team? There was one guy I would always call. He's not my father. He was just a friend, a family, that I could literally take that mask off and say, yo, man, I'm in trouble. What do I do? But it's that moment where you have to learn to just take off that mask. And I want you guys to pay attention when I say this. Take it off around the right people. People are going to give you the support. People are going to provide you the guidance. And not someone who's going to just keep pounding you. Because there are people out there that they are miserable in their own life. And what's the saying? Misery
loves company.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
some people like that. Me too. And now there's two miserable people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's learning to say, all right, I'm going to put this mask on, but at the same time, I'm going to take it off and say I'm vulnerable.
That's the biggest cheat code that I wish I would have known as a youngster growing up, is asking someone the simplest thing. So the same thing with directions. You may have been able to ask your wife, hey, I'm not sure where I'm at. Have you been around here before? And she said, yeah. Make a right on Bristol. Go up the street.
Right.
Make a left down PCH.
Right.
You're at where you're at. That's the same thing when we're thinking of life. There was a lot of times where even my own, parents sometimes when I was growing up, there was just it was hard for me to ask for help, maybe for gas, or maybe to get help to pay my phone. A lot of times my cell phone was off.
Yeah.
Because I just did not ask for that. In life, we have this graph in counseling where you think it's an A to B straight line, right?
Right.
But not asking for help, it may still be wiggly, but maybe it's wiggly like.
Yeah. But it's wiggly up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Instead of wiggling down, right?
Yes.
You consistently
it's
struggle because you don't understand that sometimes to be, quote unquote, to be a real man, sometimes you got to be able to take that mask. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you students out there, we're here for you guys. We're two grown men, married with kids. We've been through stuff. And yet, at the same time, we still have to learn to take our mask off, right?
It's
we
hard.
still need to learn to say, okay, you know what? I did fail there, but what's the lesson learned?
Exactly.
Right? So I want to encourage every student out there watching this, okay? Even parent, you're watching out there, and you see your kid or your student thinking they're okay, ask. Just ask the question. You need help?
Hyra, let me ask you a question before we end off.
Yeah.
Give me one quick example of when you asked for help and how did it benefit you?
When I asked for help was...
And this seems simple. It seems like we're talking about something so simple. Right. Ask for help, but this is major.
Yeah. For me, it was my graduate school. I thought I knew how to do a thesis. And they told me, go to the tutoring center, they'll help you. I literally, when I spoke to the lady that was in there, I was terrified. Because that master's degree, you should know how to do this. You should know how to do that. And I had to be able to just take off that mask and say, look, I don't know squat about thesis, And luckily, I was blessed by having a person who guided me, but I had to take it off. That was the purpose. I had to take that off. And once I learned it, put it back on. And be able to overcome the challenges.
Yeah. Good.
So, but one of the things too, Chris, is I just want to encourage our students. We have counselors here at Riverside City College. Yep. We have our mental health facility here at Riverside City College. And guess what? FREE. It's
free.
For free.
Free.
You got to take advantage of that because it's something you can take something out of. It's always good to talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Like what we do here. Every week.
That's all we do.
We come here, we give a little speech about what we think we should work on. Maybe this week you should need to check on what mask you're wearing and what mask you need to take off. Or how about this one? How about you learn how to borrow another mask? Another mask. You borrow another mask. Hey, your mask of success, and let me try that one out.
Right.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah. And that could be done finding someone who you relate to, finding a mentor, finding someone who you maybe strive to be like, and not borrowing a mask from somebody who is on your level or maybe a little below you.
Yeah.
Because using that mask may take you down that path.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at where you want to be. Where is it that you want to be? Okay, you may, if you want to, go into something very, very high, baby steps. Take these masks to get to where you need to go. And then eventually you will get there. Borrowing up, not borrowing down.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that?
Borrowing up, not borrowing down. That's the next
truth.
t-shirt.
That's the truth.
Check this out. Here's our t-shirt, right? Hey, that might be
Brand
the next
new.
little message,
Appreciate
right?
Hyro for this one.
But hey, borrowing up, not borrowing down.
That's real.
I love that. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate Chris and I are always excited for you to tune in these little 10, 15, 20 minutes of conversation.
Absolutely.
Please subscribe and email us right here. Just email us with any questions you have or any conversation you would like for Chris and I to have in this space. Yeah. You guys take care. You guys have a wonderful day.
Hey, and remember, if this is not for you, share it with somebody.
Yes.
Like it, share it, subscribe.
Yep.
The more support, the more people we're gonna have listening. This is some good stuff.
That's
Pass
right.
it. Pass it around.
That's right. Pass it on.
Always good.
All right, brother.
Always good.